Happy Hump Day, boys. Welcome back to the group. Great to have you still with us. Today I just want to go into diabetes a little bit because it is one of the risk factors that we talk about throughout the program, and it is ridiculously prevalent, not just in Australia, but in the UK and in the USA as well, and particularly prevalent for this age bracket that we're in right now, so the 40-year-old plus men. So the greatest cause of amputation in our country is in fact diabetes, and I speak with a number of guys who are either diabetic or borderline diabetic, pre-diabetic. Many of those who have diabetes have actually lost toes or limbs from diabetes. So effectively, as the diabetes kicks in, it affects the blood vessels at your extremities so that the blood no longer flows all the way through to your fingertips and your toes. And that means that if you get a scratch or something on an extremity, then the blood flow is not going to be there to solve any problem, to get rid of any disease or anything that goes wrong with that area. Hence, you're more likely to get gangrene in that part, and then it has to be amputated, which is a ridiculous thought given the modern society that we live in. But the truth is that diabetes is on the rise. It's on the rise in this age group, and if you are struggling with diabetes, then that amputation becomes a very real problem. So if you already have diabetes, then control as much of it as you can through exercise, absolutely. And if you're pre-diabetic or if you're gaining weight and you don't want to get diabetes, lose the gut now. The associated ailments with diabetes is just, it's a ridiculous to consider that we are in fact in control to a large extent of preventing diabetes, and we're not looking after that or not taking full advantage of that control. So with regards to exercise this week, hopefully you found something that on Monday that you kind of enjoyed doing, and hopefully yesterday you did some cardio, and I hope that went all right. Today is about how can you make that experience better. So if you did enjoy it, if you did give yourself a reasonable rating, how can you make it even better than it was? So if you tried something, you might have gone and done a martial arts class on Monday, and you thought it was okay, but it wasn't great, go and find a different martial arts class and give that a go. Maybe you did go for a walk and you found it a bit boring, or you took the dog and you're still kind of bored or whatever. Maybe take some headphones next time, and I listen to podcasts or audiobooks when I walk or jog or run, so long as I'm not near a road. I tend not to do it when I'm near a road just because of the fear of someone wiping me out. But if I can use that time to take my mind to learn something, then great. The other thing that might be worth doing is letting your imagination run wild whilst you're doing your repetitive cardio work. I call it meditation of a sort. If I'm going for a walk or a jog, so I'm not running flat out, it's a rhythmical process. Then when I get into that rhythm, I can not focus, not concentrate, and let the mind wander a little bit, and use that as a form of meditation. Some of my best ideas come up when I'm walking or jogging or swimming, looking at the bottom of the pool. For some reason, that's quite a meditative state for me that I really enjoy. So your job today with regards to your exercise is to enhance the experience for yourself. Ask yourself, what can I do to make this experience even better? From a food perspective, I'm going to ask you to confess what your dirty little secret is around food. So what's the thing that you do that you don't like to talk about, that you're not proud of, that you tend to do it when people aren't looking? Let's talk about that. Let's be honest about where you're at and what are the things that you struggle with. Because most people have a go-to food or a go-to product which is not doing them any favors, but it's kind of what they do when they're not feeling particularly good, or they feel like they need a reward or something like that. So for me, my issue is booze. I'm by no means a raving alcoholic, but my natural ritual habit is to drink beer if it's there. So when I realised, it probably stemmed from working in a pub back when I was early 20s, but when I realised that this was such a strong ritual for me to the point of if I'm anywhere near a barbecue, I'm looking for a beer because that's something that I associate. But as soon as I recognise that, as soon as I become aware of that, I can start to do something about it. So my ritual around beer is twofold. Firstly, I don't buy any more alcohol than what I want to consume on that day, which means I might pay more money per stubby. But if I buy a slab of stubbies, then I want to drink more than a couple. If I only want to drink a couple of stubbies, I buy a couple of stubbies, and then I don't have to finish the six-pack, or not that I'll finish a slab, but it means that temptation isn't there for me anymore. The other thing that I do is I look for substitutes. So what are the things that I can do when I'm in a barbecue that have me doing the same process but not necessarily drinking beer? And two of the things that I've discovered through much trial and error is mineral water and peppermint tea. For whatever reason, both those things are great substitutes for me to not drink beer. But if I wasn't aware of that habit in the first place and didn't think, all right, what can I do to fix this habit or to replace this habit with something else, then I'd still be dying for a beer every time I'm anywhere near a barbecue. So your job is to own up to your dirty little secret. Let us know about it. We've all got them, and the more honest we can be through this program, the better chance we have of actually changing some of those habits into something that serves us. Get some exercise done, do your 30 minutes, post it in the group. Let us know again how you feel on a scale of 1 to 10. I felt this before exercise, I felt this after exercise. Hope you have a great day. Make every moment matter, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.